Today we present to you in this video our Classroom Manager. The Classroom Manager builds on our LabSoft, our main e-learning software, and greatly extends its functionality. Jörg, thank you for taking the time today.
Hello, Chris.
Jörg is the responsible product manager for LabSoft, but also for the Classroom Manager. Jörg, the Classroom Manager, the word sounds very complex. What does the Classroom Manager encompass?
So, the Classroom Manager, as you already mentioned, is for the administration of the LabSoft courses, and in this case, it makes a lot of sense to install LabSoft directly in the network of the classroom. This means that there is a network drive where all courses, all user data, and all other data are collected, and only LabSoft is installed on the individual workstations of both the instructors and the learners as a client.
Okay, that means we have a very streamlined installation overall, but indeed all the computers need to be networked together.
Exactly. Then I have all my data centrally located and can manage it from all sides with the Classroom Manager. And with the Classroom Manager, as you nicely put it, it manages everything due to the help of 7 programs. There is the Manager, which is for administration of the content and the user. I can easily manage my groups, so I can assign specific content to my specific learning groups. I can set certain properties to determine how LabSoft should behave. For example, I can activate the team function so that multiple trainees can work on one computer and similar things.
And the Manager is included with every LabSoft delivery, isn't it?
Correct. The Manager is available to all our customers, not just those who have purchased the Classroom Manager, but it is truly available for everyone.
Okay, so if the Manager is now able to manage the entire class, meaning to create individual users, set up classes, and also assign content, what about when I want to edit or customize courses? Do we have options to do that?
Exactly, that takes up a large part of the Classroom Manager again. For this, we have a total of 3 programs. This is the editor for editing the courses. Here I can change content, insert images, insert animations, add pages, omit pages, and reorder the sequence. This means I can also shorten my content if there is too much. I can then use the questioner program, which I call up directly from the editor, to create questions, then incorporate these questions into my course, and also create evaluation diagrams for my measurements using the table edit program. This means 3 programs for editing and creating the courses.
I just remembered another great feature. We also have the ability to create SCORM-compatible datasets here, which can then be uploaded to any learning management systems like Canvas, Moodle, and Blackboard. But let's get back to the topic of editing courses. Do I need a special degree to customize the courses, or how did you solve this? How does it work, for example, if let's say I want to customize a LabSoft course that I have purchased, or maybe I want to create an entirely new course. How do I do that?
Easy. You open your course in the editor. At the first sight, it looks just like in LabSoft, with the difference that you can then edit, change, add images, and add animations to each page.
So, I have my table of contents on the left and the content on the right, and I can edit all of this completely.
You can completely edit this, including the table of contents. You can add a new page, then you have a new page that you can move to any position. You can copy content, copy pages, and create new ones. So you have all the options to modify the course accordingly.
And then I can accordingly secure and save it, and also distribute it over the network so that all my trainees can access this modified course.
That is exactly the reason why it should run on the network, because once you have created your course, it is immediately available to all trainees and they can access it for their work.
Okay, that's very cool. Now you mentioned the questioner. With it, I can create different types of questions. We naturally use them in the LabSoft courses as knowledge tests or knowledge queries. Beyond the experiments, do I still have other opportunities to use these questions in different ways?
Yes, of course, because once we have the questions, they are freely available to us, and we can then use these questions to conduct an electronic exam in Labsoft. Okay, and the exam runs normally in Labsoft, but you just don't see any courses anymore, and the whole thing is time limited. And to create this exam, there is the Test Creator program. It is also indeed quite smart because it offers you the possibility to compile questions for a specific exam duration with just 2 or 3 mouse clicks, or to compile a specific number of questions for an exam. This is then directly integrated into Labsoft. And the next step, which is still missing, is to go into the manager, activate the exam mode for your learning group, and the exam will start.
That is very cool indeed. Now I imagine, especially as a teacher, I have my trainees who have worked through various courses and have also passed and mastered various different exams. How can I quickly and efficiently evaluate this so that I know where my class stands and where I might uncover various knowledge gaps that I can then address specifically?
For this challenge, there is the reporter, which shows me the learning progress in the courses. And it also shows me how many attempts my trainees needed to answer the question correctly, because we do not limit the number of answers in the courses. But as a teacher, I have the ability to see whether he guessed it or really knew it.
If someone has clicked 25 times on a multiple choice or single choice answer with 4 options, you can tell that there might still be some understanding issues.
Exactly. And this way, you can also specifically review certain topics again and address them in more detail.
And on what levels can I evaluate my classes with the reporter? So can I evaluate on the class level or on the student or trainee level? What options do I have there?
The evaluation is always based on the student groups. That means I always have the groups that I have in the manager as my starting point, and then I have the corresponding trainees who belong to the group. And of course, I can evaluate them individually and see what results they have achieved in the various courses. But I can also check within specific course how the individual students did perform and where they need help.
So I also have all the possibilities in terms of different depths for analysis, so to speak. I can superficially evaluate the entire class at a glance. I can then also specifically look at each individual trainee and see where their strengths and weaknesses are.
Correct.
Wonderful. If we add it all up, we have discussed 6 programs, but there is also a 7th program, Jörg, right?
This is also the most recent addition historically, which is the Control Center, and it essentially works a bit like a classroom monitoring system. That means I can use the Control Center to bring the screens of my learning group to my PC and see where they are currently working and where they might be having problems. The students can also forward me tasks or questions directly to my PC if they didn't understand something, which I can then answer. And you can support them via remote function and use the mouse to easily help the students and efficiently show them specific and precise how to go on.
So I can take complete control if a student or trainee has problems and can't proceed. But they can also give me a hint like, hey, watch out, I'm stuck. And the whole thing is independent of location, so as long as I am connected to the network, I can virtually sit in another room and attend to other tasks. However, if needed, I can still interact directly with my trainees. And if I see that this might be a general problem that several trainees have, I can then also extend the communication to everyone and thus give my entire classroom a brief lesson.
Right? And I can also go ahead and do the whole thing in parallel with different learning groups. That means if I have different learning groups in different rooms, I can also assign the screens from various rooms to specific PCs within a single installation.
Wonderful. So this is a very powerful tool. These 7 programs, you can really tell that you put a lot of thought into them. And this greatly expands the range of functions of Labsoft and of course provides the teacher with entirely new possibilities. I can imagine that someone out there listening might think, I want this for my training center, for my classroom, but they might be afraid or have certain concerns that it is super complex to install in their training center, in their classroom. What kind of support do we, as Lucas Nuller, offer when it comes to the initial setup of something like this?
Yes, we are of course always definitely ready to help if any problems should arise. Usually, the installation process is typically carried out by the IT department, which generally handles it in a very efficient and effective manner. That means, once I have everything installed on my network drive and ensure everything is properly configured, I only need to distribute all of these laptops to their respective workstations. And the simple and beautiful thing is, the Classroom Manager is just installed locally on the workstations of the teachers and trainers.
Okay, so we see a truly all-inclusive package. From the capabilities of the various programs to setup and installation, we provide complete support. This makes highly efficient and time-effective work in the classroom possible.